Today we're checking out some of the best cases available for the new Pixel 9 Pro. Keep in mind all of these except maybe one is also going to fit the regular Pixel 9 as well. I'll leave a link down below for everything covered in today's video. I'll also leave a link to my other Pixel 9 case video down below as well, because all of those cases will also fit the Pixel 9 Pro. So let's go ahead and get started. Nice thing about this clear case by Mouse, it's MagSafe compatible, as you can see there on the back. It's a super rigid case, has a real shiny TPU material around the edges, which unfortunately it looks like you will have some fingerprints on there. As you can see, there's really no flex there on the sides. Also has just enough screen protection on all sides. Actually looks really nice around the cameras on the back. It might just be me, but I feel like the magnet is just a hair too high on the back. Definitely has a really nice and clean look to it. The power and volume buttons are covered by that shiny TPU material. I do like how they separate the volume buttons, and the buttons have plenty clickiness to them. You also have a nice oversized cutout for the charging port and speaker on the bottom. I feel like the magnet could be a little bit stronger. It stays on there pretty good until I shake it really hard. The case itself weighs about 43 grams, weighs 244 grams with the case on. I feel like if you want a clear MagSafe case, this one's definitely a good option. I kind of wish it had a little bit better grip on the sides though. Overall, really nice job by Mouse. Now, to me, this is a really nice MagSafe option by Torres. The magnet on the back also works as a kickstand with this one. They also have one that doesn't have a kickstand as well. This one's really nice and rigid. Doesn't really flex much at all. It also has a softer TPU material around the edges, and it's a little bit more rubberized than what you get with the Mouse case. So I feel like this one has a little better grip. Plenty of protection on the back for the cameras, although it kind of makes it look like the older style Pixel phones, the way it's designed. Kind of a frosted look here on the back, so you can sort of see the color of your phone. It's got plenty of screen protection on all sides. Power and volume buttons stick out plenty on the sides as well. And they do the split volume rocker, which I prefer. Probably one of the better ones as far as how clicky and just how easy the buttons are to use. Nice and large opening for the charging port on the bottom. Seems like the magnet on this one's pretty strong. It will fall off if you shake it a little bit hard though. About 51 grams for the case itself. Weighs about 251 grams with the case on. Overall, really nice design, especially if you're looking for a MagSafe case by Torres. I like how on the Rinky Onyx case, it's now compatible with MagSafe accessories. It comes in a couple different colors. The one shown here is black. It's got a rougher texture here on the back, really soft TPU material around the edges. It's mostly a TPU case, so it's gonna have some flex to it. It's a really nice and thin case though. Technically, this still works with the regular Pixel 9, although it's gonna cover up the flash a little bit. As far as screen protection goes, this one's pretty minimal. It's got a little bit extra on the top and bottom. Also has nice texture here on the sides to give it extra grip as well. The power and volume buttons stick out just enough on the sides, and they have some good clickiness to them as well. Nice and large opening on the bottom for the charging port, so you don't have to worry about that. And of course, it's gonna work with wireless charging. The magnet on this one's not real strong, but probably just good enough for most accessories. Only about 36 grams for the case itself, so really lightweight. Only 238 grams with the case on. Overall, just a really nice thin case with really good grip by Rinky. The OtterBox Commuter case is a hybrid case. You've got a silicone part on the inside, harder plastic shell on the back. This one comes in, I believe, at least 2 different colors. The one shown here is black. It's got good screen protection all the way around. The part that's silicone, you're gonna have quite a bit of flex in it, but then it won't move at all where the hard plastic is. It's got just enough protection there on the back for the cameras. Power and volume buttons are covered by the silicone material, and they seem to stick out plenty there on the sides. You can't really hear the power button when it's working. The volume buttons do have some nice clickiness to them though. They also have a little bit of that silicone sticking through on the back towards the bottom. I feel like it helps a little bit with grip. You also have some silicone here towards the corners as well. You've also got a silicone flap on the bottom that covers up the charging port. About 48 grams for the case itself. About 247 grams with the case on. It seems like OtterBox doesn't really change their designs too much, but overall pretty clean look to it there on the back. Overall just a really nice rugged, yet still pretty thin case by OtterBox. The Spigen Liquid Air case, it's a fairly flexible TPU case. Comes in 3 different colors. The one shown here is marble gray. Also has military grade drop protection. It has a really nice and clean look to it, kind of a matte texture on the back. It's also got just enough protection for the cameras. Pretty minimal screen protection on all sides. They also add a little texture here on the sides to give it extra grip as well. I also like that they add the little lines on the power button. Just gives it a little extra texture. Power and volume buttons work really good on this one. And they've got some nice clickiness to them, as usual from Spigen. Also has a nice and large opening for the charging port as well. You're not gonna get much lighter than this case at only 31 grams. Weighs about 233 grams with the case on. And of course, it's gonna work with wireless charging. Overall, just a really nice and thin case with some pretty good grip by Spigen. Now the Crave dual guard case comes in quite a few different colors. The one shown here is called Sand. As you can see, this is a hybrid case with a soft TPU material on the inside, harder plastic shell on the back. Also has some texture here on the back with a soft touch material to it to give it a little extra grip as well. You can also see it's got the darker TPU material around the cameras on the back to give it a nice accent color. You can see the Crave logo towards the bottom. You also have the darker accent color at the bottom around the charging port as well, and for the power and volume buttons. Easily some of the best as far as clickiness goes on the buttons. Doesn't take much effort to push them. As you can see, there's pretty much no flex there on the sides. It's also got just enough screen protection on all sides. About 47 grams for the case itself. Weighs about 248 grams with the case on. And of course, it's gonna work with wireless charging. Overall, just a nice clean design to this one. And it's got pretty good grip as well. Now the Zagg Lux case is a little thicker TPU material. It's a little more rigid than most TPU cases because of the thickness. Also has nice little ridges here on the back. You can see it's got just enough protection for the cameras on the back. Plus it makes it look like the camera visor doesn't stick out as far. Really shiny for the power and volume buttons. I feel like they stick out just far enough, and they have some nice clickiness to them as well. Probably a little bit better screen protection on this one versus some of the others. I feel like the one thing they could add to this case is maybe some texture on the sides, or just make this TPU material a little bit softer. Probably one of the better ones as far as how large the opening is for the charging port as well. Weighs about 44 grams for the case itself. Weighs about 245 grams with the case on. And of course, it's gonna work with wireless charging. I just kind of wish the material was a little bit softer or just had a little bit more grippiness to it. Overall though, pretty nice case by Zagg. Now probably one of the best clear cases out there, in my opinion, is the Capella kickstand by Casology. It also has military grade drop protection. This one's a super rigid case. It doesn't really flex at all, but then it has a really nice and soft TPU material around the edges. One thing that's a little different on this clear case is they put a bunch of little bumps on the sides towards the bottom where you hold the case. Kind of reminds me of the Nano Pop case. Just adds really nice grip to the sides. Probably one of the best looking cases considering how easy it is to see the phone on the back as well. Really nice clickiness to the power and volume buttons as well, as usual by Casology. Also has nice screen protection on all sides. Nice and large opening for the charging port. It's got just enough protection for the cameras on the back as well. The built-in kickstand is made of metal. It's nice and rigid, so you can put it at pretty much any angle too. and you can use it in portrait or landscape mode. Of course, because it's a clear case, you are going to get some fingerprints. Not bad though. And of course, it works with wireless charging. Weighs about 49 grams for the case itself. Weighs about 250 grams with the case on. Probably one of the best looking clear cases in my opinion by Casology. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.